All right, welcome everyone. President of the Mortgage Calculator. We're here today with another episode of Daily Rates Live. We are a lender and mortgage specializes in unique loan types, as we're going to discuss today. But we offer all different loan types. So what we do is go through the markets and the live rates for our standard programs. And we'll do a deep dive today into DSCR loans, which are some of our favorite investor loans for manufactured homes. So manufactured homes usually not eligible for financing under any of the standard programs as an investment property. And we definitely have some unique to do DSCR investor loans, which are our favorite investor product for those manufactured homes. We'll get into that here in a second. Switch my screen and we'll check out the live markets for today. So typically what we want to check out here when we review the rates in general is the 10-year treasury. It's going to indicate general are going for all of our different programs. So this is great to look at. When we look at the last 5 days here, our timeline, it's definitely going to see a lot of ups, a lot of downs. But we always want to pull this out to 1 year and see we're still pretty much at 1 year lows here. So definitely still a great time. They're shopping. And now let's check out our actual live rates for our standard programs. So we always pull this up. This is our standard pricing page. We have of different standard options. But here are first up here, our conventional option for our primary home. We always set up a standard scenario, a 1 unit single family home, 500,000 purchase price, 100,000 loan amount, 60% loan to value, and 760 estimated FICO credit score, and 4% debt to income ratio. That way we can compare all sides. So first option is the conventional option for a primary home, which is what most people think of when they think of a mortgage. Rates as low as 5.875 today. Final APR 6. Just a touch different than yesterday. FHA is an option that we typically want to explore. That allows more leniency on credit issues, higher debt, but does have additional fees for upfront and yearly mortgage insurance. And FHA comes in today at 5.35 rate. But the final APR with all the fees included there is 4.8, which is a little higher than conventional, which is pretty typical. So always look at the APR. And our VA options for our eligible vets and active service members are pretty amazing, 5.375. But when you look at the final APR, 5.627, much lower than conventional or FHA. So VA is typically always the best option for our eligible borrowers. And moving on to USDA, that's for the properties in USDA eligible areas of the country. So if the property is eligible and our borrower income limits, these programs are pretty amazing. USDA comes in today, 5.125 rate, final APR there, 5.779. So compared to FHA or conventional. So for our borrowers that are out there shopping, it's a great option if it is eligible. And our non-QM options. This is where Mortgage Calculator love to offer our outside the box alternative solutions. These solutions allow us to offer loans using alternative box. So if we can't qualify using standard documentation for a conventional FHA, VA, using tax returns, W-2s, a lot of our self-employed borrowers, we can use bank statements, 1099s, P&L statements, and all kinds of different. So our alt doc options for a primary home come in today at 6%, almost the same as conventional. APR 6.272, just a touch higher, which is pretty typical there for non-QM, and pretty amazing that our borrowers can switch that up for nearly identical. Yeah, we can use properties rates as low as 6.125, final APR 6.448. I believe that's the same as the last time we looked as well. And compare that to conventional for investment properties. Standard 30-year fix comes in at 6.125 rate, final APR 6.438. So just a touch cheaper. And some of our favorite loan types here are DSCR options. So debt service coverage ratio loans are a unique loan type where we any income or employment information. This is more of a commercial loan type where we just use the estimated rents from the rental property to determine a DSCR ratio. Estimated rents can cover the expenses, aka the property cash flows. That's a ratio over 1, which is what we use for these scenarios. This option has a 3-year prepayment penalty, which is standard for these options. Rates come in today. Smoking 5.999 rate, final APR 6.307, which beats conventional and our alt doc option with no prepay. And do our DSCR option to add a 5-year prepay to get an even better rate there. 5.875 rate is the lowest rate option. APR 6.181 again blows and alt doc out the water, which is pretty amazing. And we can offer no prepayment penalty for those states that don't allow those borrowers that don't wish to have one, no problem. Finally, APR 6.448. So those are our standard DSCR options. You can see here we have second mortgage options, fix and flip options, construction options, tons of different options here. You can get with any of our team members. Our 200 plus licensed loan officers would be happy to send you a full loan estimate for any. But let's get into our topic for today, which is going to be about DSCR options for manufactured homes. So found a actual manufactured home here that is currently listed for $299,000 here in my area. And a couple things to note here before we get into the quote. We did have to find one. There are manufactured homes for much cheaper, but those aren't actually property. They don't own the land. So another thing you need to consider, property comes with the land, and we can see some of that in the property record. So if you're on Zillow or any of these other sites, just make sure that you're actually looking at the right property. And so this is a manufactured home. You can tell it's permanently attached. They own the land. And you can tell here it is actually a double wide. So there's actually two pieces that were put together here, which is the minimum we need for these DSCR options. So of course, for primary home, there are some options in some single wides, and sometimes even options for chattel loans, which is a whole different topic, but that's for the a manufactured home or mobile home that is not the land or doesn't own the land that it is attached to. So we do have options for that, but that's not what we're talking about today. So we're talking about investment loans. Investment loans, there is very slim options there. There are only these non-QM DSCR options, and we to have a double wide, so at least a double wide. And of course, we do need to cash flow for the DSCR. So those are the couple big ticket items. But other than that, this is a perfect example of a home that be very strong for an investor. Another thing to consider is some of these homes like this may be in a community. So if there is an HOA rental, obviously that affects the DSCR. But we're not going to get into that. We're going to assume that our investor can rent this property and the rents are going to be strong. So here's our first option to purchase this property as an investment if we are using DSCR options, just the rental income. And we can go up 70% loan to value, which is pretty amazing to do a manufactured home. And this is going to have a 5-year prepayment, and it's going to be for that exact home. So I did mention the LTV, the 5-year prepayment penalty is going to offer us the best rates of pricing. And of course, we do have to land underneath, and we still have to have all the same requirements. Manufactured home loan, we need to have our HUD plates, proof of manufactured compliance, all manufactured post 1976 need to have the plate to offer loans for them. And of course, the cash flow needs to be strong. In this case, we use the DSCR ratio over 1.25, so the property cash flowed 125% requirement, which is, if you do find a good deal on a manufactured home, that is pretty attainable. And some pretty rates here. So our rate here is 6.375 rate option for no discount points and cost. And that is to, because we're putting a decent amount down to, of course, the 5-year prepayment penalty. So that's the and you can see here 70% LTV. We have that exact home set up here. You can see the loan amount, the LTV, 5-year prepayment penalty, and the estimated FICO 760. So some pretty amazing options here. There are very few options out there, very few lenders that offer this. A unique option for us to find. Now, if our borrower is the seller and maybe wants to get cash out, no problem. We have options for cash out. So our options to get a cash out, which is our typical request beyond the purchase, is going to be a 65% loan to value. And again, this is going to be a 5-year prepayment penalty for that exact home. Everything else is the same. It needs to be double wide, needs to have HUD plates and all that good stuff, needs to be permanently attached to the land, all that kind of good stuff. And again, pretty amazing rates here. That 6.375 rate actually has a little bit of a lender credit in this case. And we can get up to 65% LTV for that cash out. Again, using that 760 estimated FICO score and the 5-year prepayment penalty. So pretty amazing options here for that are looking to invest in property types, those manufactured homes, where the cash flow can oftentimes be very strong. And we do have those options for them. So I know here in the chat if you'd like a full breakdown on itemized loan estimate of any options, please get with our team members or calculator.com. We'd be happy to help you out. So thanks, everybody, and we'll be